Good morning, my friends. It's me, Coffee, and I'm off to work. Hey, check this out. There's a nasturtium plant growing. Oh, check this out. You're gonna love it. Check this out. Every year it seems like I get one. Look at that. Morning glory and a nasturtium. Apparently, morning glories come back every single year. That's cool. And they spread. So, that's pretty darn cool. Makes me really super excited. So, today let's do something a little different. Well, something like we used to. Let's hit the road. Oh, look at that nasturtium. Yeah, let's hit the road. Let's take a drive. Let's do that. And let's talk about why ducks. Hey, good morning. So, let's take a drive. We haven't done this in a long time. It's the sun. Evil sun. Let's talk about ducks today. And why ducks, and especially why Muskovy ducks. Oh my thingy. Okay. Ooh. It's 46 degrees in here, you guys. Fall is coming. So, Muskovy ducks. But most importantly, why ducks? Well, I wanted a variety. That's simple. So, Muskovy ducks and why ducks? Well, I wanted a variety of different types of animals. Chickens are great for tilling and kind of rotivating basically the compost, the pin, the what do you call that thing? The run. Oh, you're gonna have issues seeing my face, but that's okay. You're gonna deal with it. So they kind of turn all of the compost. They turn the wood chips, everything that goes into the run. And so chickens do a fantastic job at that. But, as you know, I've got flies. And every year, especially towards the end of summer, I end up with flies. And I end up with a lot of flies. I have been out there 2 or 3 different times just checking on them or feeding them or cleaning out the coop or whatever, and I'll inhale a fly. I get bombarded by flies. I get what are they called? Quasimodo? No. Oh, you know what I'm talking about? Where they do the dive bomb thing. I know you're screaming it at me. I'm just done. I'm done. Well, the cool thing about ducks like flies. So it's kind of this weird thing where flies like ducks and ducks like flies. You're like, what? That's not making any sense. Actually, it does. So duck poo, we're just going to call it poo, okay? Duck poo attracts flies. The ducks eat the flies. See? Pretty cool. So, and it's kind of cool too. They open their little beak and they move their tongue around just a little bit, and I guess it smells really bad. I don't know. And the fly lands in their mouth and they eat the fly. They'll just sit there and catch them. It's like one of their favorite treats or something. So that is why ducks is to get rid of the flies, primarily to get rid of the flies. Now, I would like to add their organic matter, their poo, to the coop. The other thing is I need more water. In our summers here in the North Idaho area, ooh, Bud Light. I could use a Bud. I'm sure he's got plenty. In the area here, we don't get a whole lot of rain in the summertime. We get rain and snow and stuff in the winter and in the spring and fall, but during the summer, we don't get a whole lot of rain. So it's like, oh, okay, well, what do? Well, I need water. I need water. Well, I could just go ahead and say, all right, fine, I'm going to go ahead and just put a sprinkler out and put water, but where's the fun in that, The other thing I like is the fact that ducks can kind of hold their own, and they make great meat birds, or ducks, for meat. And we were thinking about having kind of both sides. We wanted to do meat chickens, but meat chickens kind of, I don't know, the feeling of a meat chicken to me is just kind of weird. Like, I'm gonna build a whole separate run for chickens and then butcher and slaughter them and blah blah blah. But the other problem we have is where I live, I'm only allowed 9. That's it. 9. Well, if I go and buy 50 frickin' meat chickens, that's a no-go. That's not going to happen. Because now I'm over 9. So, I said, well, all right, let's do rabbit. So I got rabbits. Now, I like rabbits because of the poo, because their poo can immediately go into the garden. It's not hot. It doesn't need to be composted. It's perfect just the way it is. That's cool. Meat, not a big fan. They're easy to clean and butcher and all that kind of stuff, but I'm not a big fan. They're just so cute. And same with the ducks. They're cute too. But so I'm like, okay. So gives me diversity on meat. Gives me the ability to have meat, because where I'm at, I'm only allowed so many chickens. So there's no regulations on duck. But the other thing is, the Muskovy, now I did a lot of research. The Muskovy don't quack. Yeah, they don't quack. That's really weird. They hiss and they kind of chirp, kind of. Like make a little clicky, chirpy kind of sound. But full-grown ducks, there ain't no quacking. So, I was a plus. And they get kind of big. So I'm like, all right, size is good. No quack, that's really good, especially for the neighbors, because, I live in a neighborhood and I don't need people questioning what I'm doing or wondering what's going on or calling the authorities, hey, he's got an entire freaking hordement of animals. I don't need that. So, which I'm starting to get a horde of hoarding animals. Sorta. But ducks is it. We were talking about turkeys next year. I don't know if I'm gonna do turkeys. I really don't. I don't know if I'm gonna do turkeys. They gobble and they're loud, and I'm not a huge fan of eating turkey. So, at Thanksgiving, I'd rather have a ham. Just saying. But yeah, so that's pretty much the basics of it. I ran into a lady. I knew that I wanted Muskovy ducks. I think I couldn't remember what they were called. I knew what kind. I knew that there were this duck that started with an M, and I knew, okay, I need this duck. But when I ran into a lady a couple weeks back, I found out that she had them. I'm like, oh. And she just had a bunch of them hatch, and apparently she's got a lot of them. And so I'm like, all right, I'll buy some off of you. How much do you want for them? And man, as soon as she said $5 a piece, I was like, that's what we're doing. I'm buying them. $5 a piece? Dude, I dropped $20. I literally could have food on my table forever. Now, it takes a year and a half, just about, before they'll start, they'll lay their eggs and hatch them out. For some reason, the girls, they'll start laying eggs earlier than that, but I guess the drake has to be mature enough in order to fertilize those eggs. So, but yeah, I'm looking about a year and a half, and then we'll start having hatchlings, and another 6 months, 8 months after that, we'll have basically a freezer. My plan is primarily at first is to send all of the boys to freezer camp. That's kind of my plan. Freezer camp is definitely, I think, the way to go. Because you can only really have 1 or 2 drakes depending on the size of your flock. If you have a large flock where you got a lot of girls, a lot of hens, then you can usually get away with 2 drakes. But 5, 6 drakes, they will just constantly either pick on each other or they'll pick on the hens, and you don't want them doing that. So, but what's cool too is I don't have to incubate eggs. I don't have to do any of that nurturing stuff. The hens do it all. They sit on the eggs and they hatch them and they take care of them and they show them where the food is, and they really do all of it. They make amazing mothers. So I'm totally all on board. Now, I'm trying to decide. So, the layout of where my run is and where the dogs are and all that needs to change. We're kind of in this debate, and we've been in a debate for a while, where Shantae, Miss Cracker, wants to move the chicken run to the other side of the backyard, or the other side of the house, and where they're currently at, make for the dogs, which wouldn't be a bad idea, really wouldn't. But then I gotta rebuild all of that and put it all that work. I gotta redo it all over again. Now, if I was to redo it all over again, and I already talked about this, I would totally do it differently. I would totally do a shed. I know I'm getting off subject, but I would totally do a shed, and I would split the shed in half, so half of it was for the rabbits and half of it was for the chickens. And I would make my run probably twice the size that it is now. My run, I don't think, is quite big enough. I think it needs to be bigger, but not the end of the world. Really, it's not. It's not the end of the world. But I'm thinking, well, how can I retain the structure I have now and utilize it as I'm using it now, and also be able to put dog run on that side. And like I said the other day, I mentioned to you guys that I was thinking about putting up a wall or a fence to make like a little courtyard area, and then having the dogs go around the backside, so they get kind of like a hallway like thing, and then all of a sudden it opens up into the back. And I'm really thinking about going that route. Really, I am. It just seems to make a little bit more sense. No oil. It seems to make a little more sense to retain the structure I already have, and then if I have the the courtyard, I can set the courtyard up to house, all my feed and hay and nesting boxes and basically turn it into a shed, basically. So that way I can hang all of my tools on the wall and just kind of have it all in one place. Now it's kind of far from the garden, so I'd probably, like, all my gardening tools, so my shovels and my rakes and all that kind of stuff, I'd probably have them in a smaller shed over by the garden, in the greenhouse and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of the thought process. So I've been processing this and working this through my head, trying to figure out how I was going to do it, nailing this out, making sure that's exactly what I want to do before I start anything, which is kind of what I did when I first originally built the coop in the run, is thought it through on how I wanted to do it. So yeah, but anyways, so that's why I wanted ducks, and that's why I chose the Muskovy. So only time will tell how it turns out. I'm kind of curious. It's sort of like a little experiment, sort of, because I've never done ducks before. Heck, before chickens, I never did chickens before. I had one rabbit when I was a kid, and I was a horrible rabbit dad. So this is all kind of a learning curve. So anyways, until next time, y'all have yourself a fantastic rest of your day, and bye for now.